Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. Channel members, you will have a collective message that posts later this evening, so definitely check it out. And let's go ahead and let's begin. Taking a step aside, and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Seeing like this hand that's like pulling something out. This has made me, it has a very heavy energy. As soon as I like step into this, it's a very, very heavy energy. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if inside this collective right now, there's some very, how do I want to put this? Very volatile sorts of emotions currently taking place. And it's almost like the sun. And this is going to be very specific to those living in the Northern Hemisphere. I don't know how much this is going to resonate if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. You may be feeling a little bit of a quieting down for yourself if you're living down there. But here, it feels a little bit like the sun has gone through the darkness, and now that it's starting to make its climb back up, it's bringing something to light. There's a lot of processing that I'm feeling in this energy, because as I'm saying that, it's almost like I'm seeing these bubbles that are coming to the surface from like a deep sea. And for me, the sea is very representative of very deep subconscious and psychic spaces. So there's maybe psychic information that's coming through that's triggering some of this stuff, kind of like loosening up and rising to the surface. But there's things being made conscious now. Okay. And so if you're not in the habit of understanding that those volatile emotions, when they rise up, it's things trying to come to the surface, I would get in the habit of starting to view it that way, because these things are asking to be looked at and examined and seen. Okay, they're asking to be seen. Okay, we're going to take a card here, possibly two cards. We'll see what happens. From The Wild Unknown by Kim Kranz. It's like there's a hard time getting a handle on something. So there may be something that we're kind of struggling with as this volatile energy is making its way to the surface right now. Okay, we have Mercury. Okay. Signals, messages, tricks. In the realm of Mercury, anything is possible. The energy is transfixing and seductive, just like the metal itself. Since this planet rules commerce and communication, it's likely there are deals, contracts, and calls being exchanged that will spin you into a role of mercurial wonder. Don't rush big decisions or get caught in the mesmerizing energy. Rather, pay particular attention to the precise words that are being spoken and written. There may be a trick underway, maybe not. No one is sure yet. It is said that the energy of Mercury is found in the pinky finger, and that its ally color is green. Enjoy your time in this emerald hall of mirrors. Just don't sign your name on the dotted line until what is liquid becomes solid, until clear words are expressed by an honest tongue. Okay, so this is, you can take this literally if it resonates with you. For me, one of the things that this is kind of bringing forward with that green is that there's something about the heart space and the solar plexus. So our personal power in conjunction to, for some of you, either money or relationships, or any area of your life where you've had to give equal exchange and it wasn't so equal. Right? This may be part of the volatile energy that's coming to the surface now. This can be manifesting, for example, as anger. And there is something here about unlocking, because that's what the pinky finger also does. It unlocks. And so there's something about maybe some emotions that we didn't have access to, or some situation or some truth that we didn't have access to has recently unlocked. This is also kind of like the secret word. What's the password? What lets you in? So there's secret spaces that are coming to light now. Okay, I'm being given a bunch of symbols, so if you're new to my channel, the symbols don't mean that the reading is or isn't yours. It just means that if the symbols resonate for you, pay extra attention. Okay, the first symbol that they're giving me is actually a key. It's almost like a skeleton key that someone has tied a red ribbon to. It's like a red, like you know, the ribbons that come on those like little white spools. It's like that. Okay, it's very specific, like it's a ribbon that's ribbed. It's a ribbed ribbon. Okay. There's something about a lace doily that's really important, like someone just dug it out, and it feels very much like it's tied to the idea of grandmother or like an older woman, aunt or something, like somebody made this or passed it down. There's also something about one of those green library lamps. Okay. And then there's something about a stained glass. I don't think it's an actual stained glass window. It feels like a section of a stained glass window. There's something wrong with it. Okay. There's something about odd sounds also. Someone is experiencing some like odd sounds, almost like what I specifically heard was I heard my phone vibrating, but there's nothing happening with my phone. So it's almost like these odd vibrations that are taking place that someone is experiencing right now. And this is kind of funny since it's not this time period when I'm posting this. I just saw an Easter basket. So something about Easter baskets. And then I'm seeing a dog. I'm seeing like white, like kind of white or gray, like maybe like a gray mottled fur. It's kind of curly. It's a smaller dog, and it's got like black around the eyes and black ears, kind of floppy. Okay. And then something about owl houses. So those are the symbols. Those are the symbols, owl houses. Okay. There's something going on here with the equal exchange. It's almost like we're clearing out some sort of energy that is residual from exchanges that aren't equal in order to step into a new energy where exchanges are able to be equal. But in order to reach that energy and that vibration, we have to clear out the resentment, the bitterness, the anger, the hostility that we feel about unequal exchanges. I just had the term unequally yoked come through, so that's for someone. Okay. And there's like a mess as I'm trying to shuffle and grab the cards. So we're trying, again, that idea of trying to get a handle on something, but it seems very messy. It may be that if you're experiencing this volatile energy, you may be asking yourself, why is this happening? Why is this coming up now? And it may seem kind of messy and like hard to get a handle on. Okay. 3 cards. Yeah, we have the world showing up. So this is the first card. This is kind of what I'm saying here. With the world card, we have a completion. It's the completion of a cycle. And so someone here, towards this end of the year, again, my readings are timeless, but at the time that I'm posting this, we are at the end of December. And so this is really about closing out a cycle, closing out a chapter of your life, maybe even a chapter that's been your whole life in terms of how you have unequal exchanges with individuals. There's something here that has transmuted inside yourself first and foremost. And I see that someone stepping into the new year, stepping into this new energy, even the energy that you're starting to display now, this is very independent. And I don't mean like you've been alone or you're alone. And, you know, I'm saying that this is somebody who is actually okay and loves their own space, right? This is the 9 of Pentacles. She's not really pining over anybody. She's not chasing after something. She's very happy being on her own. She understands that her alone time gives her a higher perspective on things, and she's able to grow the things that she wants inside of this garden. She's somebody who has earned her own stability. She's been able to cultivate her own stability, and she works on her own craft. So there's something here about somebody being complete and whole. Again, that's part of this completion process. And what this is doing is, especially in the spring, I'm going to say that because the 3 of Wands always has this element of spring for me whenever I see it. Moving into the spring, there's this new journey that's taking place. And so what's happening now is this is the last sort of outpouring and I'm feeling that in the darkness, it's like the energies are shifting. I'm seeing things moving, right? We can kind of think of this as the movements of the outer planets, because as above, so below. They mirror each other. They mirror us. And there's this deep psychological process that seems to be taking place right now that is really just kind of like realigning us to a different frequency. I'm going to put it that way because I think that's the way that most people would understand it. Here on the very bottom, we have the 4 of Wands, and this 4 of Wands is a new foundation, right? When we have the 3 of Wands, what we have is we have the explorer, and he is waiting for the ship to come so that he can go and he can explore a new land. And this is when he arrives at the new land and he basically sets up camp. And this is kind of what is being said. There's an experience in this lifetime that you haven't had, whoever this message is for. And right now is kind of the preparatory phase to seed the energy so that you can have that experience. We've been having a message like that. That's really what the end of 2025 has been about for a lot of people. It's been about clearing out old things to prepare for new things in 2026, especially around the springtime, when many of you will see this come to fruition. And there's this energy that's going on in this for me that for many of you, it's almost like a coming home, right? It's like finding where you belong. It's finding who you have become and what that means for your future, what that actually means in the story of your life, and understanding how to prepare yourself better for the things that you actually want. There's a huge story of self-efficacy that comes into play whenever we have the Nine of Pentacles present on the table. It means that somebody's gone through a very long journey because, again, she's a number 9. She's not a number 2, right? She's been through the entire number series of the Pentacles in order to become who she is. And she is the precursor to the 10 of Pentacles, which is the legacy. And so someone here, you're probably working on something in regards to your legacy, if this is your reading. And this is somebody who this has taken quite a long time. I mean, if you look at it, there's a snail on the bottom of that card. And that's really indicating the amount of time that it has taken this individual to really reach this Nine of Pentacles. She didn't grow this garden overnight, right? She probably started with one little vine, and then before you know it, she has an entire orchard. And it's because she's taken her time and she's planted things diligently. And she's done things inside of her life step by step. I think it's really interesting that we have these 2 trees here, and then it's almost like these 2 trees in the background turn into the 3 of Wands, right? So there's this idea here that there were like dynamic decisions that were being made here in the recent past and even now. I think that more importantly, it's now. There's these dynamic decisions that are being made. You're not sacrificing one thing for another thing. You're bringing something to life. And this is moving you into the future, into this sort of grand explorer energy, going someplace that you've never been before, experiencing things you've never experienced before, meeting the types of people that you've never experienced before. And this ultimately culminates in discovering deeply who you are, right? The Nine of Pentacles, she knows who she is, but anybody can be a saint. Get them around other people, right? Anybody can be super spiritual, get them around other people. It's the dynamic interplay between ourselves and others, conflicting beliefs, conflicting narratives, conflicting goals. It's all those juicy little bits of humanity that really show us who we are. And so this next phase for somebody, this is about, we're coming into a time where partnership is very important. And, there's always somebody who wants to like get their panties up in a bunch about that. Then don't take the reading, right? But this is a reading for somebody. So this is why it's coming out. There's this time period that's coming up, especially, when I talk to my astrologer friends, they're very clear about this, that partnerships are really the way that people are going to expand coming up in the future. And I don't know what it is in the astrology. I miss that part every time we have the conversation. I just know energy. I just know what I feel. And this is something that I've been feeling for the last month or two, and it's been creeping into the reading slowly. And there's been a lot of messages coming through from people's ancestors and guides about networking. And there's something about networking that's very important. With the Four of Wands, again, it's a sense of coming home. It's like, oh, now that you've kind of rubbed elbows up against other people, some people who make you happy, some people who piss you off, now you're really getting to see who you've become. And this is a good thing. Right? This is a good thing. There's nothing worse than like running away from the truth and living inside your own little bubble and falling into your world of delusions, right? Most of us don't really want that. Most of us want the truth. Most of us want to live in some sort of truthful light. And this is what this next phase is. It's here, and it's going to show you exactly what you've done for yourself and what you've made of yourself. It's going to highlight any areas where you're still demanding that people cater to you, or that you're letting your own personal power slip away to other people's demands. This is about being very strong in the self. This is what the Nine of Pentacles is, right? This is who she is. A lot of readers will say she's pre-Empress energy. I actually don't feel she's pre-Empress energy. But she's somebody who's extremely strong. She's somebody that's extremely solid. And this is an energy that I think somebody should be really proud of. And you're going to be able to see little areas where maybe you didn't see certain things, and you can tweak those things. In other areas where you really surprise yourself at how far you've come. I do think that when you're inside of this Nine of Pentacles energy, there's these two extremes that start to happen, right? You start to attract people who want to take from you, because like, individuals are not attracted to, like, you know, people who aren't doing anything for themselves. They're usually attracted to people who are doing quite well for themselves. Not all of them, you know, but categorically. Generically, yes, I will say generically. And so you're going to have to worry about that a little bit. But I think that whoever this message is for, you've been around that block a couple of times. That's really what it feels, especially with this imbalance energy that's coming from your past. So you're going to be able to spot them a little bit better. I almost feel like that's one of the things going on here with this hawk. It's like to get a higher vantage point, not just of her land, but of the domain that's around her and of anybody approaching it. The other thing is that it puts you into alignment, having done this type of work, having been in this solid energy. It puts you into alignment with other people of like mind, right? When you are exhibiting habits and patterns and behaviors and self-care absences, I'll put it that way, you're not necessarily going to come into alignment with the type of people that most of you want to align yourself with, right? When I speak to people about, oh, okay, when you talk about soul tribe, what are you really talking about? Most people have a very similar sort of idea in the spiritual community of what they're looking for. And sometimes they don't seem to realize that, you know, you have to become that type of person too, then. And this is something that I'm seeing here, is that somebody has learned to become the type of person that they're trying to attract. And that's powerful, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to attract like only those types of people. You know, I've said it before in readings in the last few weeks, people are going to people. And it's not that the people coming towards you are different entirely. It's just that the ones that you're trying to attract are now, they're going to say, oh, okay, this is somebody I would like to get to know. Whereas previously, they may not have even thought that about you, right? Maybe it was the way that you carried yourself. Maybe it was the way that, you know, you drank too much on the weekends and like made a fool out of yourself at the bar. Maybe it was, you know, the way that you carried yourself around friends or the types of friends that you hung out with. Maybe it was the way that they would see you kind of be a pushover and they'd think, oh, wow, that's a person with bad boundaries. I don't want a person with bad boundaries in my life. Yes, that's real. That is real. There's something about stepping into a higher vibe that's visible to others that is really bringing you into this space where it's almost like you're aligning to the right types of people. And this is reciprocal relationships. It's not like imbalanced relationships anymore. Things that are not reciprocal, you're not going to sit there and have the conversation and ask them about it. You're going to know. You're going to be like, yeah, you're this way. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to lie to me and talk yourself out of this, right? You might entertain a space where you have the conversation so that you give the person some space to show you that, oh, maybe this was a mistake, because people make mistakes. But you're not going to do that round and round that I think that a lot of you probably did in the past, just because it's kind of what the Wheel of the World card is speaking to me about right now, is that endless cycle, right, when she's in her reverse. So I think that, you know, the things that you've been through, whoever this message is for, it's really refined you. It's really brought you into a stronger space where you're shining a different light. And I don't know how else to put it than that. And you know that you're on a new journey. I think whoever this message is for, you know that things are changing. You know that you've done a lot for yourself. And it's almost like this pause before the evidence of that actually shows up. And, you know, again, it's bringing me back into that energy of the deep subconscious, is just kind of like shifting energies around. It's like locking into different energies right now. Again, it has something to do with the movements of the outer planets. There's a very old, okay, so I'm going to tell you the way that I'm seeing it. This isn't literal, okay? It's like I'm looking into the darkness and I'm seeing old eyes. And this is a very old being looking back at me. It's deep within the subconscious spaces, and it's been there for a very long time. The movement that's taking place right now inside of the subconscious and psychic energies within the individual that this is going to resonate with, it's like the movement that's taking place is releasing the energies that have kept this being hidden. So some of you are going to come into a time here towards the end of the year where you become very aware of a personal secret. It's so secret, it was even secret to yourself, right? It's like it's something that you had never really known about yourself. And once this comes to the surface again, this is stepping, oh, it all makes sense now. It's stepping into the understanding of, now I'm finally me. You know, you might have felt like you were you before, but there's something in there that, like, once you see it, you're going to say, now I'm finally me. And this is part of that feeling of this homecoming. So I'm going to leave this here. And whoever's message this is a beautiful card, by the way. Check that out. It's so beautiful. Okay, whoever's message this is, I wish you the best of luck with this. And until next time.